Pickle, let's go to the hotline. We are pleased to be joined by a man who will consume all 352 UIL Texas high school football games simultaneously this weekend. We're joined by the Hall of Famer, Craig Way. Mr. Way, how are you?
I'm lapping it up, every drop of it.
It is the most wonderful time of the year. And so there's a lot to talk about with the Texas high school football playoffs. I'll start with this. Is there a bracket? It can be 6A Division 1, can be 1A Division 2. Is there a bracket that you are going to be particularly locked into for one reason or another, whether it's just looks like a march to a championship for one particular favorite or complete chaos somewhere else? Is there one bracket that intrigues you more than the others?
Well, I've been saying this for several weeks now, and you have as well, I think, that at least as far as the regular season was unfolding, we were both saying that what could be the most fascinating bracket to watch would be 3A Division 1. And I'm not quite ready to come off of that because of all the favorites and the potential of some really interesting second and third and certainly fourth round matchups in that. However, because of the late precincts reporting in 6A Division 1 and what dumped schools the D1 that we thought would be D2, clearly it would be short-sighted of me to not say that 6A Division 1 could be every bit as entertaining and fascinating as any other division in any other bracket. And you think about this, Tep, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, really weren't saying that about 6A D1. Remember, we were kind of saying, yeah, it's Duncanville and it's North Shore and yeah, it's kind of Duncanville, North. We were kind of saying that. Now, maybe not as much because of the way that more, you might say, logs have been put on the 6A D1 fire, and that we could have a raging inferno by the time we get 3-4 rounds deep into this thing.
And I'll go a step further with that because I agree with you. The 6A conversation is particularly interesting this year on both sides in the sense that, yes, we piled a ton of contenders into the 6A Division 1 clown car, right? Katy goes to Division 1 after playing in a state semifinal last year. Vandergrift goes to Division 1 after playing in a 6A Division 1 state, or 6A Division 2 rather, state championship game last year. That is interesting. I would also say don't take your eye off the ball with 6A Division 2 because even though the brand names may have matriculated over to the larger bracket, Division 2, that means that it's going to be much more wide open and, in my view, could mean that that is the most likely to have an AT&T Stadium party crasher in my mind. And that, to me, it's twofold. Yes, 6A Division 1 is going to be fascinating, but I hate to say like the remnants of 6A Division 2, but that free-for-all may be all the more intriguing.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it, and you're right. I think you could put it into two different things. Obviously, the heavyweights, we're looking at 6A D1, and part of the reason we're looking at it that way is because, let's be honest, the most recognizable state championship annually contending teams, that's a mouthful, in 6A are this year in the D1 bracket. Yes, we have Duncanville, we have North Shore, and we now, as you mentioned, we have Katy, we have Vandergrift, we have even Allen. I mean, recognizable names that are in that D1 bracket. However, you still have a defending state champ in D2 that seems well equipped for defending that title in DeSoto. And then you're right, especially in the bottom part of the bracket, there are some fresh faces, some new contenders, some new threats. Cibolo Steel is a very recognizable name, clearly, but Summer Creek, right? There's going to be some names here that folks are, it kind of reminds me, remember the state championship game we had, I think it was 6 years ago in 17, when Cy-Fair won. Now, Cy-Fair had a recognizable name, but had never appeared in a state final. And they get in there against Midway, and everybody said, okay, well, Midway looks the best equipped for it. And then Ed Pajowski's club just schooled them that night. It kind of almost reminds me of that year. So you're right. Following your lead, yeah, it could be a bit more wide open, even though you have the lead player there in DeSoto.
He's Craig Ways, Texas High School Hall of Famer. Joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. All right, Craig, the press release went out so we can tell people that you and I are a little busy on Friday night. It'll be the great Austin Ivan, you and me on the call for Lake Travis and Vandegrift on a 7:05 kick on Bally Sports Southwest. And I know you and I have been on calls this morning with both coaches. What are you in particular going to be watching for in this game when they tee it up on Friday night? What particularly grabs your attention about this matchup?
There's a great deal. The word that continues to come to my mind about this is familiarity. Mm-hmm. Now, these two teams haven't played in 6 years since Vandegrift used to be in the district in their infancy days in 6A when Westlake was controlling the top seed in the D2 bracket and Vandegrift was lining up as the run-up there in the D2 bracket going in there. And Lake Travis was ruling the roost, not only in their district, but they were one of the top teams, obviously, in 6A during that whole stretch in 2016, 2017, right around that time. But the programs came to know each other. They know each other well being in the greater Austin area. And there's more familiar. There are two players on the Vandegrift roster who were on the Lake Travis roster last year. One, a backup running back, may not matter that much, but the other, of course, is Jacob Henry, who was a standout defensive lineman for Lake Travis. Now he's a standout offensive lineman for a Vandegrift team that's loaded with outstanding offensive linemen. So these two teams know each other well. The coaches know each other well. They thought they were going to be playing each other in by district, and we all kind of had an amusing chuckle at how, 25-6A, the chaos that we know it to be, can throw everything out of whack. It did last year, and it kind of did a little bit this year in pushing Vandy to D1. So I think familiarity is the word that most comes to mind for me when these two teams get ready to tee it up Friday night.
We're going to, because obviously the game of the week is Lake Travis and Westlake because Austin Ivan's on the call. So make sure she's doing outstanding sideline reporting there. Two jabronis will also be in the booth. I'm going to remove Lake Travis and Vandegrift from the conversation. I'll give you three options for a by-district game for you to teleport to that will not. Imagine this situation where you can do both. You can be working at Lake Travis, Vandegrift too. Do you go to Garden City for Rankin and Westbrook? Do you go down south to San Antonio Wagner and A&M Consolidated? Or do you go to the Houston area for Richmond, Randall, and Fort Bend Marshall? Which of those three games do you teleport to?
Wow.
Yeah.
They all have their appeal. The thing about Rankin and Westbrook is they know each other obviously very, very well. It's interesting that they meet so early, the way it's set up. That's a great deal of fun. I am really curious about Richmond Randall. Mm-hmm. We haven't said an awful lot about them this year, and they're obviously a relative newbie, and so seeing how they do against a dyed-in-the-wool playoff veteran with something to prove, I might add, in Marshall, since they took the earlier exit than folks thought last year, that one really has me intrigued. I'll give you another one. You want to go all the way down to 2AD2? How about some Granger Burton for you?
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun as well. So I think all of those are good.
We talked about this yesterday when we were doing our prediction special. The 2A, like one of the very interesting things about 2A Division 2 is if you take a look at that District 13 2A Division 2, which ended up coming down to a three-way tie for first place between Granger, I'm trying to remember who else was in that, but Granger was in it as well as
Bremont.
Yes, Bremont and Chilton. Those three,
yep.
all in my opinion, district championship worthy, and they split the district championship. But as a result, Granger is the odd man out in the district in the tiebreak, and they get a first-round date with Burton as a result. I mean, those are the types of things that when you and I come on here and we say this is a big game, this is a big game, suddenly now is when those chickens come home to roost.
That is an easily identifiable third or fourth round playoff matchup, and just like Rankin and Westbrook, it's one that you would not be surprised at all to see wind up, and it could be that the winner of that game winds up circling back around and meeting a Chilton or Bremont in the third or fourth round. It could happen, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. Those really intrigue me on the lower classifications, that and the 1A, the 6-man game. Those really come to mind. I think we've got several weeks of intriguing 6A games to watch and 3A games, and really, for that matter, all the classifications, 4A and 5A as well. But the 6A, certainly, every week I think there's going to be a slam-bang game, starting with the one we have Friday night.
He's Craig Way. He's the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. You can hear him on the Craig Way Show, 2 o'clock today on AM 1300 The Zone in Austin. You can see him on the call for Lake Travis and Vandergrift Friday night on Bally Sports Southwest, and then see him on High School Scoreboard Live alongside myself and Aaron Hardigan. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend, and happy playoffs.
Yes, postseason, let the games begin.
Absolutely. There he goes, Craig Way, the Texas High School Hall of Famer. Joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. Talk a little high school football. He's geeked up. You can tell.
Oh, always.
He's in his bag.
Yes.
This is
prime Craig.
This is way season.
Yes.
That's what this is. Anyway, we appreciate Craig taking a little bit of time with us. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.